Hi friends, I'm going to tell you something interesting. This is a phenomena which is called uh, money shouts, wealth whisper. Because last video was about Vijay Mallya's flamboyant lifestyle. Though I've focused on the strategic part of it, that initially when he started, it was a very shrewd, very calculated move which played very well. Returns on investment. Only thing is he did it went far beyond. Uh, but this time I'm going to tell you something which is a pretty common phenomena to happens to everyone. This phenomena is called money shouts, wealth whisper. Problem really is me as a marketer and a number of other businessmen. As a professional, when a client comes to me and they want a video or something, video essentially is a branding and ad film and everything is a branding kind of where we have to sell the flashy and the rosy picture of life, which is what we have to do, and I'm expert in doing it, and want to be the world's most well paid, most profitable professional in that arena. But then the reality is, as a personal life, apart from this, I'm a very frugal businessman. I have imbibed the principle of money shouts, wealth whisper, the essence of it. Understand, the one who are really rich, at least in the initial stages of life, the initial 10 formative years, they have been less flamboyant. I will say either they have been very simple people who have been assertively to diplomatically avoiding the flamboyant culture of life, or they have been comparatively less flamboyant. Now, there is a difference between self-discipline and self-punishment. There's what, which is what I'm going to here stress here. The what I meant here is those people who have been less flamboyant are the people who have done the savings, but at this, and they have enjoyed their life in their own small ways. When they have sufficient savings, they have gone out to do shopping and what they wanted to buy and things like that. But that is after a certain stage, they already have a savings stage. They weren't the ones who are uh, you know just shelling out their credit card and taking one big loan for a flashy car and then trying to rotate it. All of a sudden your banker says, sir, your car is 2 3 years old and we are ready to give you a top up for more car, and this is a better car in the market. So probably you say, I should have a better car, I should have a better laptop, I should have a more costly designer wares and things like that. And that is where all this thing comes in. The cash flow part when it comes is when you come in a what is called a money shouts criteria. The real money makers, the real one who are real rich, fundamentally very strong in financial jargon, and those who are in the finance industry or banking industry, they call it with the jargon of fundamentalist. It's a very common jargon. If you go with a stockbroker or your mutual fund, they know what is fundamentally a strong company. So anyone who has the fundamentalist attitude, the fundamentalist real who are really practicing, not the one who are barking on the fundamentalist part, the one who are really practicing the attitude of fundamentalist life on a fundamentalist financial part, are the ones who are the one who have believed and followed the philosophy of money shouts, wealth whisper. Money shouts, wealth whisper is a quotation from many centuries. I do not know what exactly who have exactly quoted it, but that is exactly what is the phenomena which you need to understand. That if you really want to be wealthy, you want to be really rich, you want to have sufficiently strong asset base, maybe your bank balances or your real estate portfolio or mutual fund portfolio, or you are using internet and different sites or concepts of different internet for passive income portfolio. Whatever is your business model, whatever is your mix, that is different. The idea is pretty simple. If you want to be really rich, avoid yourself from the money shouts criteria or the get rich quick trap. uh, don't be flamboyant. Avoid, in fact, the way out I have found in my personal life is, um, uh, I have been in the kind of flamboyant culture and gone in the credit card loopholes, and eventually a lot of these mistakes that I did in 2007. uh, Now which I openly accept is the way out. If you already are in the mess, is first you need to identify those kind of frugal friends and those kind of frugal associates uh, you know please note here, I'm not saying cut your expenses alone. That is what you have to come later. But the first thing is you need to identify those kind of frugal people, those kind of frugal friends who are really practicing the wealth whisper phenomena, who are living below their means. And then secondly, you have to assertively and diplomatically tactfully avoid those kind of flamboyant people who are in your circle, and gradually move towards your frugal part people. And then you will start identifying what where you yourself were wrong and what kind of things you need to do. Most people do is it differently. They what they do is they start with their own self, which is what you have to do. There's no other way. You have to curb your expenses, you have to curb your flamboyance. But when I was working in a company, I wanted to curb my expenses and things like that. But the culture was there was, every afternoon, because of the meeting hours, the every team, and my team leader was used to be the one who was a foodie. Even I love food, but the culture was there because he was a foodie. The first thing he used to do is, as soon as the lunch hour comes, he used to say, okay, what everyone wants to uh, eat today, pizza, burger things. And then everyone, because the team leader wanted it, there was a societal pressure around it, and everyone were forced to uh, spend out money, because that was a kind of trend, that was a kind of benchmark that was there. Now team leader never forced us to be, but that was a kind of pressure. It was our understanding that it was there. So we were free to order the food that we want, but because it used to come from the same restaurant, so everyone used to contribute whatever money he has, and that was the kind of culture. The problem was, I didn't want it to be that kind of thing, because it used to use it was a big dent, a big hole in my purse. But that was a kind of societal pressure is. So alone, simply, if you are saying that you want to live a frugal life and things like that, you might have a resolve, but you have so much of pressure: your family, your wife, your kids, your nephews, your uncle, your aunt, and then your friends. Your immediate neighborhood have more of the flamboyant people, and they actually are the ones. So even if you want to be frugal, or you want to live below your means, and you have to practice the wealth reserve philosophy, most people are not as strong and as resolved as I am. But they eventually come under pressure, and there is a way out, and they put in a compromise deal, and 10-15 days down the line, they come back to the old money shouts routine. So you have to identify both the things, what things you need to change, and also what is the societal culture, what is the kind of friends you need to change. At least I'm not saying cutting the friends, but the relative level of the intimacy of the friendship needs to be changed. You need to understand, you need to give more importance to the frugal people in your life. And that is the culture you need to gradually move towards the from down culture towards frugal culture, and that will come and maintain consistency. So this is what, for a very personal savings point of view, life, and from where you need to start practicing money shouts, wealth whispers philosophy of life. Thank you very much.